always make sure your gun is clear before ever working on it. You never know, okay? Oh, looky what we got. So, did a video on the Beretta A300 Ultima about, I don't know, last summer I think it was, if not sooner. Is my table shaking full? And we loved it so much, we wanted another one. I went to Williams Gun Site in Davison, Michigan, and right down the road. And I was just going to go look. I want one of my own, because the other one actually is my wife's. She got it for herself for when we were going out to Missouri for Snow Goose, and I've been using it ever since because I fell in love with it. Gun runs amazing. I've had zero issues with it. Nothing against my Franke. I do enjoy my Franke. Besides, during turkey season, it's a second optic that fell off with the bead on the end there. I put a second one on there, and it's fell off. So you'll hear me complain about that in turkey video if you watch that. Beginning of turkey season this year for 2024, right? But anyways, let's get into it. Beretta A300 Ultima. This is the Sport. If any of you guys know anything about our 810, our color is, this will make a lot of sense to you. Why I went with this? Because I didn't even know this was a thing. And I've been on Beretta's website quite a bit. Somehow I've overlooked this. This thing's badass. But let's get into this bad boy. So right here, we got the A300 Ultima. It is all juiced up with oil. So we're going to give it a good clean on that. So I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera there. She's all juicied up. So when I was filling out my paperwork for it, I was like, man, that thing's got oil all over it. He said, yeah, because this one's actually made in the States. So does that mean that they're not made everywhere else? I'm going to look on the other one that we have to see where it says, because this one actually says Gallatin, Tennessee. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Gallatin, Tennessee. So hopefully I'm definitely saying that right. Either way, I'll put it right here. But first thing it comes off is, we're just going to open it all up. And the first thing I see, it comes with, looks like 4 chokes. There's already one in the barrel, I do know that. So some different stock pieces here, and chokes, choke tool, which I really like this choke tool. We don't need that. So I really like the chokes that come with it. This one is the no steel shot F. I would imagine full choke, right? So that means no steel. Damn. And it is the extended, which sticks out of the barrel itself, which is kind of cool. So I'll say this, just like I'm not a builder, I'm not a gunsmith by any means, so I'm gonna, bear with me on names. I'm probably gonna make some mistakes, but we're learning. So either way, what other choke do we have here? We have the oily. This one is the ST modified. So this one's good for steel. Modified. What do we got here? This one is for steel. This one is our OKIC. So your improved cylinder, right? So again, these are the ones that stick outside of the barrel itself on the end. Really cool. I like the tubes they give with it as well. Keeps them nice and protected. They bounce around in your bag. We obviously got some extra screws for the butt here, but I do really like this choke tube tool because it sticks in there nice, right down in there. Again, this is a 20 gauge. Just one thing I did not start off with. I really wanted another 20 gauge for just duck hunting. That's what I'm going to use this for, is duck hunting. But anyways, this tool here sticks down in there real nice, and it locks in real good. You get a good grip on it. 20 gauge, and it actually says Beretta on it. Good job, Beretta. Then looky what I got here. Oh my god! Comes with another little bead here. Another little bead. Let's go. We got all kinds of plastic here. We don't need this stuff anymore, so let's just yeet that out of the way. Next thing we got is the barrel. She is all oily. We're gonna clean it all up. Nice. We'll go over some stuff. We have had a lot of requests for cleaning videos. I'm gonna try to do it in this video. We'll tear it down a little bit deeper. Hopefully it's what you guys were asking for. I'll try to find you in old videos and say, hey, go check out this video right here, and hopefully it'll answer your questions. Barrel, oily as all get out. You got her back here, her back bead, whether it be the what would they call it? We'll look it up. And then the front bead, which is nice and white. It looks like you can, somehow you change that. I don't know if you just pop it out there. I gotta look that up. But it did send this one with it. But that's the other bead right there. And in this one, we have the modified choke. Like I said, it sticks out of the barrel quite a bit there, which is nice, especially for waterfowl when you're shooting. It's easy for you before you reload, you know, make sure that your choke's nice and tight. So I think that is it. There's another piece here to the stock for adjustments. Of course, all of our paperwork, all that. Good stuff to read in the library, bathroom. What other stuff did they send us? Apparently, USA Shooting, Vincent Hancock, men's skeet, 3 times Olympic gold medalist. Help us get to Paris. This is obviously, this is already over with. Irrelevant. Hopefully you did good. Should probably look that up. But that is the unboxing of it. And now we'll get into, we're going to clean up all the oil that came from the factory on it. Because again, you can see it on the video, I know, because it's all over me. It is filthy. So we don't need to eat that anymore. So it is the Ultima, Beretta A300 Ultima Sporting. I said sport in the beginning because I'm, I think, illiterate. Or I forget. I don't know. What do you call that? But that's a lot of oil. So I really love the green. That's the big thing. This is what caught my attention when I went to Williams. I saw the green there and I was like, oh my God, I gotta have it. Again, this is my colors. So grip there, pop that bad boy off. Forend. She's nice and dirty actually down in there. You get a new gun. I don't know if if you have or have not got a new gun in a while. This oil is just gross. It's like, it's almost sticky, if you will. I'm sure, I mean, you could probably run some rounds through it, no problem, but I do remember with my Stoker. My Stoker, I had a lot of issues with it because I was like, oh, it's oiled. And it was just an absolute nightmare. After a little while, it gummed up, wasn't shooting properly. I got rid of the Stoker pretty quick. Went to that Franchi Affinity. Best decision I ever made from that. But now I'm in love with the A300, you know. But so obviously, again, I said the first thing that I seen that I really liked was the all the green on here. You know, you got it down here, spacer, release down here, just a little bit. I mean, we all get things a lot of times because they look good. Obviously, these guns run great. Almost any gun now runs pretty good. Just depends on, it's just what's your cup of tea, you know. And again, I really like this A300 Ultima, and I really wanted it in the Timber Marsh by Optifade. They didn't have it. They have another timber, which is like Cabela's, which I have. I'll show you guys here in just a second. If you haven't seen the other video, I'll actually tag that video in this video so that you can go back and look at that one as well if you're interested. Or I do go shoot that one. So we got most of this cleaned up. Good stuff to use is, I like to use the REM action cleaner. Just be real careful on like wood stocks and whatnot. It's always a good idea. Take a little bit on a rag with anything you do with cleaners. Is in a very inconspicuous area. If you find an area that maybe is already worn, or you can pull the stock off here if you're worried about it, if it's going to take any of the finish off, just put a little bit on there, let it sit for a little while, let it dry, and see what it does. Obviously, you don't want to just go about cleaning it and just destroy your finish on your gun. I use my guns as not a showpiece; they're a tool. It's obviously a tool for hunting. I've said in videos before. My Franchi is absolutely tore up, and it's not because I don't take care of it. I do. Could I be better about it? Yes, I think everybody could, with their stuff. I know there's some people that literally they get a little scuff on something and they're freaking out. It doesn't stop the gun from operating like it should, stuff like that. But that's just teach their own. Me, I just want things to run properly. That's my big thing. As long as it's running good, it's firing, we're not getting jams, stovepipe, anything like that. Stovepipe on a shotgun, half ejected shell, right? I'm not a gunsmith. That's always my excuse, okay? But tools make life a lot easier, right? So I got myself, it's a 1/16 pin punch. This one's Dasco Pro, is what it says on it. And this is nice for your pins that you get, roller pins you got to push out of here. Nice little push, and they come right out of there typically. When they're brand new, they don't like to come out as easy. They really don't. This one is going to take a little bit more because it's not. This punch is not quite long enough, and it's not easy enough to pull out yet. So what we got to do here is get creative. There we go. I think we got her. That puppy is in there, brother. All right. Well, that's out of there. It just didn't come out. So there's our trigger assembly here. It's actually pretty clean. We'll dab some oil in there, and then all right, here we go. Here's our bolt carrier. A lot of pieces, a lot of moving parts here. Let's get them cleaned up. They are filthy. If you can see that good in the video there. A lot of it's almost like this copper looking stuff. I don't know if that's from the factory. So we'll be careful to make sure we put it together all properly. So it's always a good idea. I know most of you watching this video already own several guns. You've cleaned a lot of shotguns, but paper towels be your friends. And me personally, I like Q-tips. Q-tips are nice because you can get in all the little spots there. Our bolt assembly here. There's a lot of moving parts here. Stuff that can be taken apart. It's very important that you remember how to put the stuff back together. The gun will not fire, will not operate, probably won't even go back together properly if you don't put this stuff back together good or correctly. Bottom here, we have our breech bolt slide right here. So that's on the bottom of our bolt here. Filthy. We're going to give that a nice clean. So first thing we'll do here is I like to kind of bunch up multiple paper towels. And the only reason I'm doing this is because we've had multiple requests to do a cleaning video. So I put a paper towel down, and then I give it a good spray. And I mean, we're getting a lot of gunk off that right off the get-go. These guns, I don't think they fire them in the factory. I would imagine they wouldn't. Maybe they do. There's just a lot on these. So spray them off, get all that gunk off of them. It's never a bad idea to do this. Plus, it's your equipment. You need to know how to use it. Careful, there's a pin right here, holds us all together. Make sure that stays there in the center. Now you're going to lose that. If you're on carpet, heat registers and stuff, good way to lose stuff. So like I said, the Q-tips is nice. Get down in all these little cracks here that you can't with a rag is easy. Again, I'm pulling a lot of gunk off there. So, boom, put that down. Bottom here, we have our firing pin, and there's spring down in there. I'm not going to pull this all apart, because you can get to most of it right here that you would need to. So I'm going to again put it on the paper towel here. It's here. Have a whole roll over here. You go through, and then you'll see that gunk just pouring out of there. And then as we put it back in the gun, we're going to obviously re-oil it. Just a light coating. You never want to put too much in there, especially one thing I noticed when we went to North Dakota and Missouri, with the wind. Seems to have more wind in Michigan, a lot more open areas, a lot of dust and dirt, flying around in the air. And if you have too much oil in there, that stuff's just going to gunk up in there. You're going to have to clean your gun a lot more. And if you're not, here in Michigan, there's times I won't clean it. I'll maybe clean it once, maybe twice during a whole season. I'd be lying to you telling you that there's been times where I didn't clean it an entire season and it never had any issues with other ones. But anyways, back to cleaning this. So always inspect too. Yes, this is a brand new gun right now, but just inspect to make sure that you don't see any metal, big metal shavings or anything like that. Anything that would indicate that there's already damage to this fire or any of this to our firing pin. Obviously pops out here. Boom. Clean the inside of this out. Look at that gunk in there. That's a lot. Right here, there's a lot of gunk right there. Like I said, almost looks like a copper like little particle. So it's got to be something that they use in the factory, obviously. I did look on my other A300, which I have standing right next to me right now. That one just says Made in USA. To get your mag limiter, so your plug, as we call it. So how you get that off is right here on the side. I'm going to go to this other camera here. So right here on the side here, there's this little button here. You take this little pick tool here and hold on to all this. Push this in here. And that releases this right here. And you unscrew it. So you just unscrew this part right here. Remember, there's a spring in here, so just be careful. Don't want to shoot out on you, just like that just did. Okay. So there's your spring there, and there's your tube. So there's a little retaining clip in there. I broke it getting it off my my other one, and it's not in there anymore, and the plug still goes in there properly like it's supposed to, because it just slides in from the bottom. So you have to undo this little clip here, and it'll allow it to come out of there, and then you can just slide it back in when you need it back in there. Okay. So it's not a bad idea once you have this all open to clean your spring as well and that tube there, because when it's brand new, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but over time you're going to collect debris in there from shells, because who doesn't have a bag of shells somewhere, or in your blind bag where it spills because we have a leaky bag or whatever, and the cardboard rots out, and then our shells fall in our bag, and then there's dirt and everything else in there. It's inevitable. Or in our cases, I've talked about that before in videos. We're in our floating cases, like some of those don't unzip all the way or un-velcro all the way, so it's hard to clean them out. And dirt just sits in there, and as you're moving it around, that stuff is getting inside of our guns. And our mag tube, we forget about that. If it's not feeding the shells properly, that's an issue. So keep this clean as well. It only takes a couple minutes to do this. And just every once in a while, run something down the tube. Make sure that it's good. Boom, that'll just run right through there. Typically you want to go up from the bottom so it's not pushing stuff in your gun, but if you've got to clean this anyway, it really doesn't matter. All right, another thing is your piston here. You just, right here, you pull down. You want to make sure this is clean. Just take a good look at it. Obviously it's very clean. There's actually not all that gunk in there like that copper and whatnot. So all you do is you just seat it back up on there, and it pushes right back up in there. It's nice and good. And we throw her back together. All right, so the one thing that's really important, you got your spring down in here. Right here, I'll pick this camera up here. See that spring down in there? On the bottom, it's like that bronze colored. I'll show you in just a second how that goes. So take this. Go down here, two hands, your action, all that. Slide this down. All right, so right here, just slide right on top of there. And that spring, you'll feel it. You can see it push down in there.
Nice.
All right, to put our trigger back in. So bottom first, slide down, make sure your pin's out all the way. This one will not come out all the way yet. I got to get a longer awl. Pin punch, whatever. So it slides down in there. Push. It'll get started. Make sure it's all the way down in there. And then take this flat, just like this, and then you can just push it right down in there. Not the tap on it or anything like that. Slide right down in there. Again, after as time goes on, it will slide in and out a lot easier. So let's get our charging handle back in there. So there's a little cut on, or little groove on here that goes towards. That goes towards the back. and it just locks right in there. Now your bolt can't slide too far forward. It's a good idea when you put it back together, not let it slide all the way forward, like ram forward, because it'll cause marring up here. All right, so that's all back together. Oiled. I did take the stock off here. There's screws on the back side here. That's if you want to change these plates out. Real easy to do. We don't need to do it because everything's set up right now. Set up fits for me. But these screws are hidden. You'll see little screws down here. Nice and tight. All right. Another thing while I got the barrel off too is the choke. Another really good idea. I've learned this the hard way on my Franke. I wish I would have done a video on it, but it took me a month of getting my choke out of my Franke Affinity because there was no oil on it. It's a good idea. I mean, there's a lot of oil on this. Holy smokes. Clean that off, put some new oil on it. Take these out every once in a while. Don't just leave them there all season, even though that's what your choke you use. But if you ever decide you want to go do something else, you want to change your chokes, you're going to have a hard time getting out of there, I promise you. I'm not the only one that's ever had the problem. Several of my buddies over the years, you're going to boil it. I soaked my barrel for almost a month in PB Blaster and heated it up, did everything. I thought for sure I was just going to have to buy a whole new barrel and choke. I was really worried about that, but I ended up getting it off, thank God. But I like to put oil on it so that it doesn't seize up in there because we are out in the elements. All right. So slide our barrel back on here. So nice and easy. Slide the bolt back. Slides down. Make sure it seats properly all the way down. So you just kind of got to wiggle it a little bit. Boom. Okay. It's nice and planted down. Forehand back on. Slide over it. There you go. Slides in. Practice makes perfect with anything. And then to make sure that it's on there properly, before you screw it down, just pull on the bottom of it. If that bottom pulls out, it's not seated properly. And make sure your barrel, make sure it's up nice, tight up against the barrel. Slide down. Just slip back out of there. Love the green. And then you just screw this back in here. My plug is in there. Nice and tight. Looks like we need to pop our cap off here because you can see from the factory, still a little loose. We'll fix that. But other than that, she feels good. But again, this is the 20 gauge Ultima 300. I wanted the 20 gauge for duck, especially for divers. We do a lot of diver hunt like we did last year. It's one of my favorite duck hunt anymore, honestly. And the 20 gauge, I was lights out with that, with this one right here actually. You have it, and I will tag the video of this one in the in this video so you guys can see this one as well. I've got a lot of shells through this gun, and it's amazing. Yeah, see how this one's tight, so we're gonna fix that other one. Not a lot of differences I could see. Obviously this one said this one was made in Gallatin, Tennessee, and then this one just says made in USA. But they're both the A300 Ultima, both 28-inch barrels, 7.5 pounds. I believe it was. Real light gun, shoulder's nice. I'm 6 foot tall, it feels real nice. You know, one way to check is obviously arm here and make sure that you can reach. Obviously that's for shorter. But if the gun's too short and you need to put an extension on it, like right here, it's good. It's nice and comfortable. I can see right down the sight's good. I said it earlier, mid bead, that's what that's called, mid bead, and the bead here. So the extra one that's on this, which I believe was the 7 or 4.5 millimeter. This one comes with. I think I'm going to change to this, obviously for foul. Obviously you want a little light. 9 times out of 10, I am shooting down the side of the barrel anyway. If you've never tried it, try it. You know, you're out shooting clays, whatever it be, try. I'm not saying like gun like this, but just a little sideways, look down the side of the barrel when you're swinging. And I hit a lot more that way. I've done that with clays and with birds, especially divers, because those birds are cooking. Those all squaws. Long tails, as they want us to call them now apparently. But anyways, both beautiful guns, love them. I'm happy I got this one. Again, it's our colors. Let's go. So we'll go out and run some shells through this maybe today or tomorrow. Make sure you guys get over to the website too and check out some of the new hats. All of our hats are on sale right now. We have these now with the mallard on some of them, and if you want the mallard on any of these ones too, send us a message. We'll get them put on there. But right now we have them in these. There's a ton of hats on there. It's been crazy. That laser engraver has been running a lot between our stuff and everybody else, other clothing brands that we do all over the country, businesses, friends, you know, funny hats, whatever. I just said in the last video, I think 800. Now we're almost 900 hats we put out of here from that laser engraver. We did ourselves, put on hats, and either shipped out or we sold them right out of here. So real happy about that. I'm real happy. I'll just say that. But hopefully that helps you guys.